Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. My name is Nick.
I'm Ian.
And today, I guess there's been this ongoing theme over the last year or so about the rising cost of vinyl. But we're not going to focus so much on the price of vinyl. We're going to look more so at whether or not we believe or how these high prices have affected the vinyl resurgence. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you click on that link down below and go check out the Vinyl Den Facebook group. It's a cool place to continue the music conversation. There's also a link down there for the Vinyl Den merch page where we got t-shirts and sweatshirts on there. There's a link for the Vinyl Den Patreon page. If you want to support the show, it's always greatly appreciated. There's also a link down there for the new Vinyl Den Spotify playlist where we're kind of compiling music that we talk about during the week in a nice big playlist to kind of just another way to interact with people in the vinyl community. And if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give us the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we release new episodes. So we all know that vinyl has gotten pretty expensive over the last several years. I know when I got back into buying vinyl, new albums were $18 to $24, $25, something like that. Mm-hmm. And you're seeing a lot of new releases push closer to $40, $45, $60 for some new releases out there. But so I know that with this rising cost, I know for me personally, it has kind of changed my spending habits a little bit. I've looked a little bit more towards CDs on some instances because I could buy a new album if a new album is going to cost $45, or I can buy the CD for $12. And if I'm thinking that, I know there's a ton of people out there that are thinking the same thing.
For someone like me, I haven't really gotten back into CDs. I've purchased a few CDs in the recent year or so, but I'm not into CDs opposed to vinyl. If I'm going to buy something physical media wise, it's going to be vinyl for me. But that, again, like you're saying, it might affect your choice of media. It just affects my choice of
how much I buy.
Yeah. So if I go into a store, before I might have bought 2 or 3, now I'm buying 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So it does affect our choices as far as that goes.
Yeah. I think for the vinyl resurgence to really be a long-lasting thing, you've got to, and it has been, we have seen younger generations get into vinyl. My oldest son, Jack, he's got a nice little vinyl collection going. But when you think about these rising costs, and younger people buying these albums, if an album is going to be, $35, $40, $45, a lot of people are just going to stream it.
Right.
Streaming is always going to be a much cheaper option when it comes to music listening.
Especially since I think a lot of people are doing both. Me personally, I do both because
I think a lot of people
when I'm in my car, I'm streaming. Obviously, you can't spin a record in your car unless you're Elvis Presley, because he had a built-in stereo in his car.
Actually, there was a post on the Vinyl Den Facebook group not too long ago
about that.
It was like an older ad for mobile record players for your car.
But as far as streaming goes, when I'm in my car, I'm streaming music. So we have both as an option, and I can say that there's 2 albums out that have been out for several months now that I want to buy and I haven't bought them yet because they are a little on the pricier side. Yeah. Because I can listen to them in my car. I can stream in my car and listen to them that way. So I'm not missing out on the experience. Yeah. But I have put off buying them. I am eventually going to get them, but I have put off buying them because of cost and money. So
that's why I think if this trend kind of continues with these rising prices, I think we will get to a point where it's just going to be too much, and these vinyl sales, I think you're going to see
them dip.
The
one thing I will say, though, is that's odd to me is every year the cost of vinyl has gone up. But every year there's a huge increase in people buying vinyl.
Yeah. So, especially over the last couple of years.
It could be where the demand is feeding the beast, because people are still buying them.
Yeah.
There's more demand for them. The cost of pressing has gone up. The cost of everything has gone up. The cost of materials, everything. But it could be that the market is pushing these prices up too. Yeah. It's overinflating these prices. It's hard to say.
But I think you're going to see more and more people get into CDs just because it is a cheaper medium. I will say that Adele's newest album, 30, came out, the second week in November, I want to say. So in the last 6 weeks of 2021, Adele sold almost 900,000 CDs
Wow.
of that album. That's a big number in 6
But
weeks.
didn't the vinyl sales, weren't they quite good too?
They were. It was the highest. It was the number one vinyl album for 2021. It was the number one CD, and I believe it was also the number one streaming album for last year also. So it was a huge album. But when you see, I was really kind of surprised when I saw that number because almost 900,000 CDs in 6 weeks is huge. But when you see that, you got to know that a lot of those people, because that album was, I want to say, $35 or $38 brand new. So you're seeing a lot of people, even right there, that might be looking at the CD as a more acceptable form of the music over vinyl.
So the only question I would have then is, do you think that's indicative of people buying CD in lieu of vinyl, or is that just CD either maintaining or increasing its popularity as a physical media?
It's a good question. It's a good question. And I will say that there were a couple albums that came out last year that I love the album. I've owned it on vinyl and I bought it on CD. Mm-hmm. So, that's also, I'm sure there's probably a good chunk of those CD sales are probably also people that did buy it on vinyl.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to say. Like I said, I'm curious what the market analysis is on something like that, or if there even is market analysis.
I'm not sure.
I mean, you see articles in magazines, and at least online magazines, about vinyl because everyone and their grandpa want to talk about how vinyl's come back, as we've been dealing with forever.
Yeah.
But they always seem to miss the mark, I think, on real analysis. They kind of go at it from an observer's perspective rather than, even us, we're not experts, but we're there. We're in the stores. We're seeing what other people are buying. We're talking to people online. So we kind of
I'm talking to people online.
And you're expressing that to me, so I at least get that part. But we're kind of on the grassroots level of kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
So, and even we don't understand it. So I think there really needs to be some kind of real legitimate market analysis.
I'm sure there probably is out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Someone's put the time and effort in.
Well, you would think if there were, then maybe some of these record companies, like Sony, I think already has, would maybe start thinking about investing in their own pressing plants.
Sony has their own plants in Japan.
And Warner is a huge record label. Why don't they do that?
Yeah. I think a lot of the costs...
RCA used to be the leader of pressing, for a vinyl pressing.
I think the big issue right now, as far as bigger labels opening plants, it's the investment involved in opening them. Mm-hmm. Even a lot of the bigger pressing plants we have are running on machines that are 40 plus years old.
Yeah, probably more than that, really.
And, probably more than that. And it's just the matter of having the manpower, or hiring the manpower that actually knows how to run and operate these plants.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can go to any college, whether it's community college or city college. They're always offering classes for things that, most people would say, well, that's silly. But I don't see why they couldn't start incorporating some level of education in there.
Yeah.
If I was the owner of a record label or on a board at a record label, I'd be recommending that, investing in this, because the vinyl surge and resurgence that we're talking about is only going to last as long as it's viable for everybody.
Yeah.
And cost going up is going to make it less viable for the consumer, which is going to make it less viable for the record labels. And it really becomes the responsibility of the record labels if they want to maintain this, because at some point there could be no physical media at all. I mean, that's what the industry was moving towards in the first place. Mm-hmm. So if they want to continue to be able to make real money off of physical media, they're going to have to invest in it.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get to a point over the next year or two. I think it's going to take that long for this backlog to kind of get out of the pressing plants and finally get this stuff opened up. But hopefully at that point we see, I don't think we'll ever see prices drop, because they generally
They might
don't.
level a
They
little
might
bit.
level off a little bit. Hopefully, we'll get to that point because I can see, like I said, if this stuff keeps going up at this rate over the next 4 or 5 years,
People just stop buying.
people are just going to stop buying records.
I think an extra $10 on every album is going to be too much.
Yeah.
It might be too much for me at that point. So
Because labels and bands are making more money on vinyl, so they know labels and bands want or really love vinyl records being sold like they are right now because they're making a lot of money off of it, and it's something that because of streaming and everything else over the last decade and a half, they've lost all that money. So I think we're getting to a point now where they're just kind of making up for lost time, I guess.
Yeah.
But we're going to get to a point where there's a tipping point in there somewhere where if it doesn't level off, it's going to ultimately end this vinyl resurgence. Well, that's all we got for you today, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. Why don't you drop us a comment down below and let us know what you think about this. I know everyone hates the price or the rising, skyrocketing price of vinyl, but do you think we're going to get to a point where it is going to level off, or do you think we're going to keep going up at this crazy rate, and eventually it's going to just destroy the
bubble will burst.
The bubble, yeah, the bubble that we've enjoyed for the last decade or so.
Almost, yeah.
But if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give us the old thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell, and come back and check out the show next week. That's all we got. Until next time,
Talk to y'all later.
keep on spinning. Peace.